Hello, hello.
Hello. All right, we're live.
And I'm
Oops, let me
back.
mute
Thanks for,
myself.
I missed the fun last time, so happy to be here again.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah. So for anybody who is joining in, my name is Megan Sullivan. I am a senior software engineer at Gatsby. I work mainly on our documentation, and I am joined by Generosa Litton. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah Rosa Litton. I'm a senior solutions engineer in the customer success team, and my role here is to ensure that everyone who uses Gatsby is successful and achieves their goals. So
Nice. And this segment that we're doing now is something called Megan's Coding Corner. It's a segment that's every other Wednesday where we go through the new Gatsby tutorial as the parts are coming out. So last time, 2 weeks ago, we did part 2, which was all about React components and creating new pages and components for your site. So that's on YouTube now, I think, if you want to go and check it out. And today we are talking about plugins. So here, let me drop a link to the tutorial in the chat.
yeah, I before I joined Gatsby, plugins is one of the sort of like mysterious things, but I ended up learning that it's one of the great things about Gatsby. So this is going to be an exciting segment.
Yeah, so the cool thing about plugins, well, okay, before we get into that, some quick ground rules for everybody. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page for these streams. So some quick ground rules. Number 1, you belong here. If I'm saying something and you get confused, that's on me. That's not on you. So let me know in the chat if anything ever doesn't make sense, or you're like, Megan, back up and say that thing that you just rambled through. And I would be happy to do that. Number 2, be kind to each other in the chat. Everybody is on their own learning journey and knows different things. So if somebody asks a question and you know the answer, help out. And also be kind to yourself. So nobody is born knowing any of this stuff. So try and keep a growth mindset and remember that you will get there when you get there. All right.
Good message.
Cool. So with that out of the way, let's get into part 3 of the tutorial. So part 3, as we mentioned, is all about plugins. Oops, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
so can you pull up part 3?
Yeah.
There we go. Great.
Yeah.
So
Make it big for now.
plugins, I'm going to drop another link in the chat to the plugin library. So plugins are basically NPM packages that you can add to your Gatsby site that do like special things. So different plugins, you can think of them kind of like accessories for your site. So they add different kinds of features. Sometimes they add new components that you can use. Sometimes they add like GraphQL things. Later on, we'll talk about data a couple streams down the line. But if you've ever seen those like kitchen accessories, you can think of them kind of like that. Like you don't need them. You could build those same features out yourself. But the nice thing about using plugins is that they're usually designed to do one job really well. And also somebody else built them. So you can just import them and use that functionality in your site without needing to build it from scratch yourself.
Yeah, hey, I have a question about
go
this
for it.
one. This plugin.
Yeah.
I want that. A thing that puts the egg with the shell on.
Right? I don't know if you're supposed to use it with the shell on. I don't know. This is what Google Images had to offer. So
okay, that was funny. Okay.
Yeah. So today we're going to be looking at a particular plugin, which is Gatsby Plugin Image. So this is all about how you use performance responsive images in your site. Let me drop another link to that. So the first link that I dropped, that plugin library, has all of our plugins that are available. I think there's a couple thousand of them. Or here, it says 2,833 results. So there's a lot of things that you can add to your site. Some of them are maintained by Gatsby employees. Some of them are maintained by open source contributors from the community. Thanks, y'all. but that'll let you look through and search for what kinds of integrations you might want, like Google Analytics or Airtable or WordPress, things like that. And then this link that I'm dropping is for the Gatsby plugin image specifically, which is what we'll be looking at today. So should we do it?
Yeah, let's do this. Okay.
All right, cool. So real quick, do you want to show where we left off?
Sure.
Like
yeah.
What does the site look like?
Yeah. Okay. Today, where we left off last time, I guess we added links, right? We used, I think that's what you guys did. Because I did it
so
too.
Now we've got this like custom layout component that we built. We've got that nav bar. We learned about styling. So today what we're going to do is we're going to add some pictures. We're going to add some images to the homepage. And to do that, we're going to use Gatsby Plugin Image. So if you go back to the tutorial, we'll talk real quickly just about the sort of general process for using a plugin in your site.
Okay.
So these are the 3 steps in this picture here. So your first step is to install the package using npm, and this will be something that you run from your command line. The second step is going to be to configure your plugin. So inside of gatsby-config.js, that's your file in your site that you're going to tell Gatsby what plugins you want to use in your site and pass in any sort of like configuration options that you might need. And then in the third step, varies depending on which plugin you're using, but that's basically to use the features of that plugin in your site. So for our case today, that's going to be where we import the image components that we want to use to render photos. So let's do it. So step 1.
Okay. So I'm in VS Code. So step 1, I'm just going to clear what we just did. So we install it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's Gatsby image plugin or
-plugin-image.
-image. Return. Okay.
Sweet.
So it's doing its thing.
Yep. So then when this finishes installing, what this step is going to do is it's going to add, if you open up your package.json file, this is like a Node.js thing where when you install the package, it's going to add it as a dependency. If you scroll down to your dependency list, you should see it now. Yeah, right there on line 20. So now it's saying you have access to use the code from this package in your site. And it'll also add it to your node modules folder, but you don't have to worry about that. I don't go in there if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
the huge, okay.
I know. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
So step 2, what was step 2? Do you remember?
I forgot already. What is step 2? It was configure. So we have to go to the Gatsby config, and then so Gatsby knows that we want to use it. Basically.
Yep. So now we have to tell Gatsby, hey, when you build my site, I want you to include stuff from this package.
Okay.
So to do that.
So I'm here.
See, and so here, your Gatsby config file is the file that just has information about your Gatsby site. So you can see at the top, there's that site metadata that has some information about your site. We'll use that in the next stream where we talk more about data and GraphQL. But then you also have this plugins array here, which some plugins, well, we'll get to that in a minute. But to start, let's add another plugin here. So you'll just add the name of this plugin as a string.
The plugin image. I always forget the name.
Yeah,
that's the name, right? Okay.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. So now when you. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because now we added it, so now we have to use it, right?
Yep. So that's the third step.
Yes.
So we're going to add a photo to our index page, to our home page.
Okay.
And actually, let's take a look at the docs for Gatsby
Okay.
plugin image.
So Gatsby plugin image. Here we go. I think this is the, yeah. All right.
Yeah, so Gatsby plugin image gives you two different components that you can use to render images in your site. So the first one is a component called static image, and that is the one that you want to use if every time that that component renders, it's going to use the same image. So something like a logo, we're going to use static image in our case. And then the next component that it gives you, which we'll talk more about a different day, is one called Gatsby image, and that's the dynamic image. So if you have like images that you want to pull in from somewhere, basically anytime that you wanted to like pass down the image to load as a prop to something else, that's when you need to use Gatsby image instead.
Yeah, so like news feeds, maybe things change. It's not always the same.
Or if you have like, what are those called? The hero images at the top of your page. That's what we'll build later on. I think that's part 6 or 7 of the tutorial. Future things.
Nice. Cool.
So what we're going to use today is Gatsby, or is static image. Sorry. So if you go down, go down and click that. So this will tell you how to use that image in your component. So similar to the way that we've used other components in our pages, you will import it first, and then we'll add the component to our return statement, to that JSX.
Yep.
So let's start. Yeah, start with that.
Let's start it. Okay. That's Benny. Sleeping. Okay, so we should import it in the index like that. Okay. And then you want me to add it inside the layout, or what's next? Okay. That just as static image, like that. But we need to tell it what the image is, right?
Yeah. So if you go back and look at the docs, this static image, it's going to be like an image, like an IMG HTML element. So it doesn't have the closing tag. It's just one opening tag, or what is that called? Self-closing?
Yeah.
It's got the slash at the end.
Yes. Right. Okay. So I will make that change. So do I do that now and add the source information later?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that as we copy over. So if you look at the static image example here, you can see that it takes at least 2 props. There's extra ones that we'll look at later. But to start, you need the source prop, which is basically like where the image is coming from. And then you have your alt text, because accessibility is important. And so that will be the text that people who use screen readers hear. Or if your image doesn't load for some reason, that'll be the text that renders there instead.
Yep. All right. Shall we do it?
Yeah.
All right. So first and foremost, let me do this and make it self-closing. Remove this one here. So this is not the right source because I don't have a dyno. So should I just, I don't even know if I have anything here.
Yeah, so you can pull in, so there's 2 different ways that you can use static image that we'll look at today. So you can pull in a URL, an image from a URL, so from something hosted somewhere else online, or you can pull one in from your file system.
Okay.
Oh, and actually, we forgot to do something, which is a good example of why you gotta read the docs as you're installing stuff, because Gatsby plugin image also requires a couple of other plugins in order to work properly. So if you go back to the Gatsby plugin image doc, and then go up to the top in the installation section.
Yes, so we need the source file system.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
actually need Gatsby plugin Sharp
Yeah.
because that's the plugin that does, I think it uses Sharp for image processing.
Right.
And then Gatsby source file system you need to use to be able to use the static image component.
Okay. So I shall install both of those.
Yep.
I don't need the third one or the transformer Sharp because we're not using dynamic images yet.
Exactly.
So let me do npm install those two things.
And then this is good practice for those first couple of steps for using.
Yeah, then we need to add it on the config as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then this is where we'll talk a little bit about the different ways that you can configure Gatsby plugins. So for now, we're actually just going to leave in Gatsby plugin Sharp. We're not going to configure Gatsby source file system yet.
Okay.
Because so Gatsby source file system requires some extra options for like, where do you want to pull in images from? And we don't actually need that to be able to use the static image component.
Okay.
It's a little confusing, but we'll configure that one in the next stream.
Okay, no problem. So
let's start by pulling in an image from a URL. So let's just go to, I don't know, Unsplash or something like that.
Okay. I'm doing it off screen just so everyone knows. So what do you want? Just give me some.
Let's stick with dogs. Who doesn't love a good dog photo?
Right.
Actually, here, do you want to switch windows so that we can see it?
Yeah. Here, can you see
that? Oh,
that?
hello, little babies.
We both love pitty, so
yeah.
Let's, which one do you want?
Oh, I like that middle one.
Okay.
Like
all right.
Flower petals.
Okay. So I need the link for this one, right?
So I usually go into the dev tools, like if you right click that image.
I see. And find the URL for this image.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's maybe an easier way to do it.
It's okay.
But we're developers here.
Yeah, I know. We like to make it hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I just add that now in the source, right?
Yep.
And then
we want.
Kitty. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So in theory, this should like get us to where we want to go. Right?
I think so. And if not, we'll regroup.
Yeah. So I'm going to restart the server with Gatsby develop. So you can use npm start too, but let's just use Gatsby develop. Okay, something happened there.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah, something happened. Okay. Let's see. Failed.
Error.
Oh, error. Okay. Maybe the link was not right or something. Let me just check it out on a browser to make sure it actually loads. Like if I just do that. No, so it doesn't. All right.
Okay.
That's why.
Let's see. Maybe let's go to Google Images instead then.
Okay. Pitbull. Okay. Ooh, there's more.
Oh, look at that smiling one. Oh, puppies. Okay. Yeah. Got to pick the puppies.
Okay. So this is my link, right? Is this the right link? No. Oh, well, yeah. Copy link.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. All right.
Does that work if you open that URL in a browser?
Good call there. Let's see.
Oh, so cute.
It
looks like that's some extra stuff. If you if you right click that, there's usually one that says like copy image URL or something like that. Copy image address.
Okay, image address. Okay, copy image address. Okay. Oh, let me make sure.
Because basically we're trying to just get the photo. There we go.
Yeah. All right. That's probably good enough for now.
All right.
Pitbull puppies. Okay.
So cute.
Right. So let me do this again. Gatsby develop. Where are you? Okay. And we have a new Gatsby CLI. I thought I updated it already, but oh, okay. Well, deprecation warning. All right. So it looks like it's, at least we're not getting that same error anymore.
Yeah.
So let's go to my local host, 8,000. Well,
Yay!
there we go.
Puppies.
It's so cute. Oh my God.
Very sweet.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, great. So that is how you use a URL from the internet to pull in an image. And the process for using an image from your file system is very similar. You'll just swap out the source. Instead of being a URL, it'll be the path, the relative path to your image. So I know you've got some cute photos ready.
Yes. So let me actually upload some pictures to my apologies for me sort of like kind of, anyway, never mind. I'm not going to apologize for me. We're having fun here. So let me just do this. I want to put it in my image file so that it's all copy and paste. All right. So I copied my Benny Hansen file there. So it should appear now in my VS Code, as you can see here. So it's there. So let's change this URL. Or do we want to add another one? What do you think?
Yeah, let's add another one. Why not have multiple dogs?
We have example of both the.
Yeah, I like it.
So now, this is like my biggest pet or like insecurity, like finding the path to something. Like, okay, where are you now? Like index,
right?
So now I have to go where? Oh, up one. Okay, so images, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right, and then Benny Hansen. Is there an easier way to do this? No.
That might be it. I think that there's, I think that might be it.
Okay. Pitbull. All right. So.
Cutie.
Now that I saved it, there he is.
There he is. Hello, little guy.
Yeah, that's so cute. All right. And his favorite, like, poop pillow. Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay. All right.
So I think this is like a short section of the tutorial. Yeah. So now we're sort of in like open-ended playtime territory. So actually, folks in the chat, let us know. Yeah, there's a couple different things we could do. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so one thing that came to my mind while we were doing this, and I realized we were finished, is we added the transformer, or was it called Sharp Transfer? I forget. I'm bad with names, We added that plugin, right? The transformer.
That one we didn't add. That one is for using the dynamic image, so the Gatsby image component.
Yeah. Oh no, so we added the
plugin. We added file system, and we added Sharp. Gatsby plugin Sharp, and Gatsby source file system.
So plugin Sharp helps make the images like small yet beautiful.
Yeah, the way that I understand it, if you actually go and inspect that, let's look at so see how this is actually wrapped inside of a picture element?
Yes.
You've got your image, the like IMG tag, but you've also got this picture element. Let's open up the docs for picture MDN.
You want to,
because the picture element here, I'm dropping a link in the chat. Here we go. So the picture element is an HTML tool that you can use to render responsive images. So it like depends on what size the image is going to be rendered at. It can like pick out a different size of your image that's optimized for the display size.
Yeah. So that's the source set, I believe, because that gives you different options. So like,
Yeah, can you open each of those? See, it like tells you how big each one is.
Right.
So it's got like multiple images, but then when you actually render the image tag, it can choose which one makes the most sense based on its current size.
That's right. So like, I guess, just wondering if I changed it, will the source change? There's a way to do that. I just don't know how to do it right this minute. maybe someday I'll figure that out. But yeah, so I think the point that I wanted to make was that plugin actually also optimizes your site in that it gives you the best image size so that it doesn't bloat your site and gives you a responsive, still a responsive site. Like if you have users on mobile, you won't probably get this image. You probably will get the smaller one. So that's another benefit of Gatsby, is that it does all of that for you. I mean, you can do it yourself, as Megan said in the beginning, but
But why work harder than you have
to? Exactly. You want the money coming in. You want your work right. Short. You can bill for 20 hours, but only work 5. That's the way to do it.
So we've got a couple of different ways that we could go now. So chat, let me know if one sounds more appealing than another. We could look at some other plugins to see what else there is in the plugin library and try adding one of those. Or we could look more in depth at the image plugin. So look at some of the different ways that you can add options to images, some of the other parameters that you can pass in to control the way that those images render. So let me know which one sounds more interesting.
So while we're waiting for that, let me just do the commits. Wait, I just want to commit, make sure I don't lose what we just did. So,
nice. You can actually open in VS Code. You can open another terminal window.
Oh, you're right.
There's like the little plus. Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Okay. I'm the master of having too many tabs open in every application.
Git add, git commit .vm, added Q. I mean, this is not exactly the right commit message, but
it's descriptive.
Yeah. So I
like and then let me drop a link. So if anybody is following along, this is the repo that we're building on over the course of this stream.
So any feedback on what people want? Or people are silent?
I haven't heard anything from the chat yet. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. Okay. But that's okay. We appreciate you folks that are here. Hannah, so which one do you want to do?
Well, since we're on static image, let's explore what else can we do with it. I don't know what else, because I don't know anything else.
Cool. So, here there is John Hansen, artist. Hello. In the terminal, the verbose text while running Gatsby develop, there's a warning about fluid and static are deprecated within the warning Gatsby transformer sharp. Is there any action needed, or is this a warning?
Yeah, I did.
That's a good question. I don't actually know.
Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of these.
I guess I'm curious what version we're using. Input file contains unsupported image format. They're both JPEGs, so that should be allowed.
Yeah, and I just I uploaded. I mean, I upgraded to the latest Gatsby CLI, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask somebody. Our folks that built the image plugin have moved on from Gatsby, so I'll have to ask around and see if anybody knows.
Yeah. Oh, no data. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, we're learning on the fly here.
Yeah. I was also in a session with one of our Gatsby engineers, and when you install npm packages, you get all these warning, this and that, and then go, or like audit this and that, or like you can ignore it. Is that true? I don't know. Anyone in the audience knows about what I'm talking about? When you install an npm package, there's always a warning.
Yeah, I think if we were building a real site, like a bigger site where we were like using user data or selling something, it would probably be more important. But because this is just for fun.
Yeah. Yep. So it may. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It might be because I have a number of local projects with different versions of Gatsby and Gatsby CLI. It could be. Try updating them to the latest version and see what happens. Do you have it globally installed, or is it just a different version in each project? Either way, I think you can update the version
per project, right?
Yeah.
Globally. Yeah.
If you go into your package.json, it lists Gatsby as a dependency, and you can see, actually, let's look at that. You can see which version of Gatsby that you're running.
Yeah, so I'm at 3.4.
I think we're on 3.7 now.
Yeah. Yeah, we are at 3.7. I just saw.
Yeah. Dropped today, I think, or yesterday.
Every 2 weeks, right? We release something. So.
Yep. So go check it out.
Yeah.
We could try updating and see if that makes the warning go away.
Okay. Want me to do that? What is it? npm install Gatsby at latest?
Yeah.
I think that is the. Yeah.
We'll see what version it updates to.
See, I have all these warnings. I said it. Like, anyway. So, yeah, what else can we do with the, okay. See, yeah, like all these audit things, that's like, what the hell is that? So anyway.
Oh, yeah. It's like different vulnerabilities with different dependencies inside of Gatsby. Or like, sometimes it's like dependencies of dependencies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, glad I don't.
Usually you just wait for whatever the package with the vulnerability is to publish a new version that fixes that. And then it's sort of like has to trickle down through all of the other dependencies, then have to update which version they use. And then eventually it'll get to you.
So yeah, we're at 3.7. You're right. So.
Woo!
Anyway, yeah. I think John had something else.
Okay, I have a bug I can't get rid of. Often when I quit Gatsby Develop, I get an update message to go from an old CLI to the newest. But when I list all installed, the old CLI does not show. Is that for your global install? Maybe it's talking about, like, it seems like it could be either your globally installed CLI isn't up to date, or the one that you're using in that package isn't up to date. And it could be like different per project. If you're using different versions of Gatsby across multiple projects, that could be it.
Yeah, could be. Cool. Let's see.
Okay, so let's play around with some of the image, the like extra image props.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Because now that we've got multiple images, we can see some of the differences.
Yeah. So
let's go. Let's go to the reference guide in the docs here. I'll drop this in the chat.
Right.
So this is the docs page. There's a couple of different places where you can see stuff about Gatsby plugin image. So there's the plugin README, which is in the plugin library, that like /plugins page. And then there's this reference guide, which is more of like a technical description of how the plugin works. So you can see like the list of all of the attributes that are available and sort of how you can use those, like what the differences are. And then there's also a how-to guide, which is more of like a step-by-step like recipe, for lack of a better word, of just like how you can go through the process of adding.
Yeah.
So here is that. Hello, new friend in the chat. Hello from South Africa. Wow, hi.
Nice.
Please share the repo link again. Sure. This is the repo that we've been building on. And then this is actually where you can see it deployed on the internet. So we have this site is hosted on Gatsby Cloud Hosting. So that's the URL where you can see it online. And then we are also, this was the section of the tutorial that we were working on. So for part 3. And then if you are just joining in, the 2 previous streams are on our YouTube now. Actually, let me get a link to that too. So you can follow along there. But yeah, now we've finished the stuff in part 3, and so now we're just riffing. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that I see a lot, because I also do support, a lot of customers ask about, the loading prop, eager or lazy. So, I mean, the eager one, I guess, is if you have images above the fold, that's probably one you want to use this prop with. But lazy are like things that you don't want to load right away. And this kind of prop is kind of cool because it, again, affects how users experience your site. You don't want all like your images to load at once because it's not necessary per se. So we also, I think that would be just a nice one for you guys to know in the audience, that we have those too.
Yeah. Do you want to try it? Is it visible? Can you see? I guess we could look at the network tab maybe.
Sure, let's try that. So it defaults to lazy. So maybe we can I forgot what the prop was. Okay, it's loading. My short-term memory is definitely so it's lazy. So what should we make? Yeah, eager, I guess, would be the first one. And then the other one would be lazy. So let me save that.
And so what does that mean again? That means that when the page loads, yeah, here, explain it again.
Yeah, so the eager, so it defaults to lazy, meaning it kind of takes its time. I mean, it doesn't load immediately. Like it loads other things first, so it doesn't hog the network, so to speak. But there's some things you want to load eagerly because you want your users to experience your page quickly. Like if you have a hero image right away, because again, by default, it's lazy. So the hero image will kind of load in a slower manner, but you want that to be eager because you want your users to feel like, hey, I'm already interacting with your page right away. So yeah, so eager, it's like there right away. Lazy, it's kind of a little on the slower side.
Nice.
So you might see it blurry a little bit, and then it might be like fast after.
Oh yeah, so that's another thing we can show too, is the placeholder. You can change what it looks like. Let's look at this one first though.
Okay, so I'm wondering, should I just show it in cloud? Because that might or localhost?
Yeah, let's do localhost because then we don't have to wait for it to.
Yeah. Oops. Okay. What happened? Maybe I need to restart, or I didn't, or I didn't. Oh, maybe. Did I stop? Errors. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me just redo it. Sometimes when you can't type, when you make changes, you need to restart the cache. Yeah, one
Oh,
thing
yeah.
too is the cache.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the cache builds up with stuff. So sometimes when you make a lot of changes, you want to clean the cache. So you run Gatsby clean and Gatsby develop together. So that'll get you clear cache. All right, so looks like we have this back. I don't know if you saw that, but kind of like went, there's a little waterfall. Should we look at the network tab? I'm not sure if that'll.
Yeah, let's see, because I think there's a way to slow down the network to like simulate. I think it's that throttling one at the top. It says no throttling, or I guess it's on the second row. Yeah, so you can slow down your network speed, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's do, honestly, I don't know. I guess let's try slow 3G and see how slow it is.
Yeah.
And if you
now I just
reload your page.
reload, and then look at the network. Oops. So I want to. I guess I want to look at my images. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. It's very slow. Because we're in 3G mode.
But you can see now how that like box for the first image showed up before the like gray box showed up before the second picture even.
Yeah. So that's a good way of showing how, the eager and lazy kind of thing. And one thing I want to point out as well is the size, the file size. You see how, like my Benny Handsome picture is only 270 bytes. Gatsby, again, with the plugins automatically does, like I said, like we talked about earlier, it chooses the right image depending on what your speed and your device. Since we were on a slow one, it chose like a smaller one from a file size perspective. Or so that's
if you go to a larger screen size, if you make the screen size bigger and then do like a hard refresh, does that number change, the number of bytes?
Let's see. I don't know.
Oh, also John Hansen Artist said, I do find in development that lazy and eager tend to not show their true effect unless you test a build or serve. That's interesting. So that maybe it doesn't work in the dev server.
Yeah, that probably is a good point too. So, but yeah, so it's very slow. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. No, it's the same. So it could be what John says.
Yeah,
we might see this. Actually, come to mind. He is right in build, and you would see the effects in build. In develop, it won't really show.
Okay. So, yeah. Well, here we can try it. We can try that.
All right, let's try that. So let me. It's called Gatsby build, right? And not and Gatsby serve, right? Serve.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that may take some processing.
Yeah, I think it takes a little bit longer because there's more stuff that it's trying to optimize for you. Because this would be like the version that you would see on, like in production.
That's correct. Okay. So,
also, I missed this earlier. John Hansen Artist said, I will admit, one thing about plugins, most work very well, though sometimes I find the documentation can be sparse, especially when I may not follow things and may just be more common knowledge. Yeah, that's something that I find as well. Like a lot of the like older plugins, the docs sort of assume that you already have a level of understanding of what this plugin is and like what it's going to do for you, which I don't love. As like somebody who works on the documentation, that's definitely something that I want to improve, so that ideally you should be able to come to any plugin and be like, okay, even if I've never heard of this before, I can read this introduction and get the gist of what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So that's on my list of things to improve. I don't know when we'll get to that, but a lot of these are open source too. So I think they might all be open source. But if you want to improve that, then you can open PRs. If there are any plugins that you know what they do and look at their docs and see like, oh, this would not be helpful to a newcomer, take a moment and write a paragraph to introduce that concept and like what that plugin does, when it's useful. Yay, better docs.
Yeah, but in general, I think your docs are great. So, but yes,
they can always be better.
They can always be better. So we're in the production build. One thing I noticed that is the pictures were transformed to .webp, which is a more how do you say? I forget the word, but it's a better format.
It's like better performance. Yeah,
quality, quality performance. So it did that sort of without you doing anything. Like in the past, I would need like to convert my images to .webp using a third-party tool, but with Gatsby, it's all out of the box.
Yeah, and that's actually, if you look in the docs for Gatsby plugin image, it says that's like what file format it uses is something that you can customize. Yeah. I think it's in this list of shared props, maybe.
Okay, let's see, image processing, image style.
Oh, formats. Where is this?
Oh,
yeah.
Here,
if
formats.
There's a section called image options. Yeah.
It's WebP. That's right.
So by default, it'll make those WebP ones for you. But if you wanted to have different formats, it tells you here which ones you can use instead.
That's right. Yeah.
There's also the placeholder might be kind of fun. I don't know. That's at least a visual one that you can see. Yeah. So you saw like when the image was loading, there was like a gray box. I think there were actually two. There was like the darker gray box for our first image and then like a lighter gray box underneath that. Right. So those are the placeholders that show up before your image actually loads. And so by putting those placeholders there, it keeps your layout from shifting a bunch when you have like the page jumping around as more content gets loaded. So there's actually a couple of different versions of that placeholder that you can use. So the default one is that dominant color. So it just looks at your image and figures out what color is there the most. But there are some other ones that are kind of cool as well. The blurred one and the traced SVG. I guess we can try. Well, let's try it. Put one on one image and one on the other image.
Yeah, let's do that. So placeholder.
Yeah, placeholder.
Oh, I put too many quotes already. Copy that.
Got too excited.
And the other one was traced SVG, right?
Yeah, traced SVG. The SVG is uppercase, but the traced is lowercase.
Like that, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So now I need to probably do this again. Should we? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I wonder if these ones work in Gatsby Develop.
Oh.
Some of the things only work in prod builds, and some of them will also work in dev builds, but I don't know which ones are which.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Okay, but let's see. Okay, let me get this out of the way and see.
Okay, sweet. You might also have to
slow it down.
Your network again. Yeah, just too fast.
Yeah, it went way too fast. Let's just do slow so we can really see it. Yeah, it's cute doggies. Well, that was still.
What if you do a hard refresh? I wonder if it's got to do with like caching now. Like, does your browser just know?
Yeah. Well, let's do something.
Oh wait, were you on localhost 8,000 or 9,000?
No, I was in 9,000.
Okay.
So I'm in incognito, but well, let me see. Let me do that again. Network. Throttle, slow. Now, is there
If
a
you
way
hold down
to?
Shift when you refresh, that's usually how I do a hard refresh.
Okay, so
Is
shift and
what
then just return?
Command
Yeah,
Shift R.
or, okay.
There we go. That's slower. No.
Did you see that? I mean, it's still fast.
It's just too fast.
Yeah, the slow of
Do you have to
Gatsby's.
leave the DevTools open to get the throttling? Like, does it reset? Yeah, I think you
Maybe.
have to leave that open and then try
Yeah,
and do the hard refresh.
yeah. Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah.
So see, there's the top one now is a sort of fuzzy version, and then the traced SVG one is fun because it's
Kind of
like
cool. Yeah, I'll do it again.
it looks
So,
artsy. It's like
yeah, I
here's
know.
a two-color version of your photo.
Yeah, that was
Oh, you
very
can
cool.
disable the cache in the DevTools. I didn't know that. Oh,
We'll
it's that checkbox that says disable cache.
Hello.
Good eye, good eye.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
We don't need glasses. All right. Yeah, disable
Nice.
cache. There we go. Cool. Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Sweet.
Yeah.
There's one other one that I was thinking might be interesting to look at. I gotta remember which one it is. Oh, here we go. So if you go to layout in the docs, there's a cool.
Wait, I forget. Where am I?
See, this is my
one.
constant problem. There's too many tabs.
I'm actually going to
okay.
see if I can be organized here. Okay. The layout is what this one. Okay, layout. There we go.
Yeah. So if you scroll down below, this table lists out all of the different options that are available, but there's actually a GIF in here which shows them all in action. So this one should resize the screen. Oh, does it not play? Okay. On mine, it oh wait, it's a video. There we go. Yeah. So see how, so full width always stays as wide as your window is, but if you scroll up, you can see some of the different ones. So constrained, you can see that like it gets to a certain width and that's like as big as the image will go. So the window gets wider, but the image stops getting wider. And then above that, I think is fixed, where it's always the same size.
Right. So you don't have to write media queries in CSS? I wonder, because I hate.
I mean, you probably could, like if you added them on top of it, but I guess with this kind of functionality, you might not need it because it's already figuring it out for you.
I used to like spend hours on that and I just hated it.
I guess you would still need the media query if you wanted different behavior at different screen sizes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
You're right. You probably could have it if you like wanted it to display, like you probably don't need it for the width and the height for like the size of the image, but if you wanted media queries for like changing, I don't know, adding a border when it's at a certain size, or like not showing an image when you're on a smaller screen, then you could still use it for that, I guess. So yeah, we can add some of these to the images and see those on our.
So what do you want, fixed and constrained?
Yeah, let's do fixed. I think constrained is the default. What does it say? Okay. Yeah, constrained is the default. So let's try fixed and full width. I wonder, this will be interesting because we also have like a max width set on the body of our, or like the main contents of our site in our CSS. So we might have to turn that off and then.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This one might work with the dev server.
Sure.
So that then we could like update the CSS.
Okay. So should I just do a dev server now?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just do develop. Okay. I guess in theory I could run two at the same time, right?
Oh, that's true. You could, since it's on different ports.
Yeah. So let me just do that. Just to build and Gatsby serve on this one. Yeah. So okay. Okay. So it's building. So let's go look at. I think this is my localhost 8000, which we haven't seen in a while. So in theory, if I do the big and small kind of window shift, we should, or one was fixed, I forget.
Oh yeah. So that top one you see now, was that the one that was fixed? Because you see it gets cut off.
Yeah, I forgot already. See, my brain is just, oh man, I need someone to help me here.
That's why we pair. It's all right.
Yeah, the top
Okay,
one
great.
was fixed. So
nice. So you can see that happened, that worked, where it was stayed the same big size, even though it was bigger than your window.
Yeah. So yeah, I think let me just make sure that happened. Yeah, so yeah, let's see. Yeah, it never, while the other image was constrained, so it never.
It gets a little bit smaller.
Right. Cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Okay. What do you think?
Yeah. So that's the image plugin.
Yeah. We did go through a lot of things, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I guess we can, for the last couple of minutes, I guess if anybody has questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. But in the meantime, we can look through the plugin library just to show folks what other kinds of stuff we got in there.
Okay.
So it'll be, it's just gatsby.com or gatsby.js.com/plugins. Sometimes it's in the sidebar or in the nav bar, and sometimes it's not.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you can see here the landing page has a sort of more curated collection of our most popular plugins. So if you scroll down, there's a lot of source plugins, which we'll talk more about 2 weeks from now. So for part 4.
Okay.
And that's how you pull data into your site from different third-party tools. So from Contentful or from WordPress, they have like Airtable if you want to send data somewhere. They also have Shopify. That's a big plugin that we have a couple streams from a few weeks back. If you check on YouTube, you can find those. So yeah, lots of different places that you can pull in data from. But for that, we'll talk about that next time because you got to know some GraphQL things for that.
Yeah.
Cool. But then there are other ones too. Like, if you scroll down, we've got a bunch of different styling systems. If you are into emotion or Sass or Material UI, we have plugins for those things. Analytics, if you want to pull in Google Analytics or a different analytics tool.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of features that you can take advantage of pretty easily by using a plugin, or I guess more easily than if you were to try and build it from scratch yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the main goal is productivity, get what you need right away. Why do things yourself when we can help you, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So maybe by the end of this thing that I do with you, Megan, I would like CSS because CSS has always been like I get a heart attack when I have to do CSS.
I'm still trying to learn CSS. There's a CSS class. There's a CSS in JS course that Josh Como, who used to work at Gatsby, put out. Or no, it's like CSS for JS devs.
CSS for those who hate CSS.
Right. And so the goal is to like teach you CSS fundamentals, sort of the same approach that we're taking for the Gatsby tutorial, like helping you build a mental model of how this tool works so that it's not like the way that I normally use CSS, which is just a collection of random properties that I'm like, this is maybe what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're like better at thinking through how
Actually
it
have a
works.
process in mind.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to go through that with me, I have bought the course and started it, but we could have a little study group. You and I, Henrosa.
Yeah, maybe,
CSS.
maybe. Because you're the artistic one, so like move it here.
Maybe we should
there,
get
like,
Flo to join us with it too. He
Yeah.
already knows a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Well,
cool. Well, if
guess
there's no
that-
questions in the chat, I think we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for joining so much, everybody. Thanks for joining Generosa and for the folks in the chat. And we'll see you. There will be a stream next week. I'm going to be on PTO for the next couple of weeks. So we'll be back in 3 weeks this time. So not next week or the week after, but the week after that, we'll be back for part 4.
And so, enjoy your PTO. Well
woo,
deserved.
I'm going camping. Hopefully I make it back.
Whoa. Where?
All over the place.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
many different states. It's like 8 national parks.
Oh,
so
wow.
There will be many photos, which we can add to our site using Gatsby plugin image. It's all full circle.
Maybe we can upload it to a CMS, use GraphQL.
There we go.
Yeah.
Fuel for a future stream.
Yes, let's do that. All right.
All right. Cool.
Thanks,
everybody. We'll see you later.
All right. Goodbye.